Hello lovelies, how are we? It's Lesley. This is the Not Quite Enough Distance vlog. It's Tuesday the 28th of September, close enough. Hope everyone's okay. Thank you for all the comments and thoughts on the vlog last week and on the month end podcast. Really kind of you all to watch and then to comment. I really do appreciate it. Bit of an apology first of all because there was no Heidi footage last week. I am so sorry. I will make up for that. There are 2 clips at the end of this video, I promise. I'd like to apologise. I've let myself down, I've let Heidi down, I've let everyone down. I'm sorry. Hope everyone's well. All well here, but it's going slightly strange in the country. The fuel shortage. Now, there's not a fuel shortage apparently. There is fuel in the refineries, and we're talking motor fuel here. So petrol, diesel, that kind of thing. I was really fortunate in that I filled my car up last week before the panic started. That was by chance. That was not at all by design. It's just I'd reached a quarter of a tank. That's when I normally fill it up. Job's a good one. So I have enough to get me through this week at least, and probably into quite a bit of next week as well at the moment. But there are queues outside petrol stations. The petrol stations are running out because we have this problem of not enough lorry drivers to drive the tankers to the petrol stations to fill them up. And of course emotions run high and people feel that others are queue jumping, and all the reports on the news are saying, well, key workers can't get to work, so medical people. Yeah, it's a new version of the apocalypse. I remember, it must have been about 20 years ago, there was a strike. It was a strike of tanker drivers, which went on for a few days. And at the time, I worked about 30 miles from home, and ended up doing car sharing and all the things we should probably be doing anyway. But that only lasted a few days. This, I would have thought by now that most people had got fuel in their car. But people do tend to get a bit anxious, and like I say, I normally fill up when I've got a quarter of a tank. Maybe if I'd got to half a tank right now, I'd be thinking, should I try and get some? You know, it's that kind of mindset, which is understandable but not helpful. So that's all very odd. Yes, himself's cookery last week. He enjoyed the Italian course on Saturday, and we had a very nice lasagna for dinner, and he'd made all the pasta and all of that, and oh god, my hair. And then there was a dessert as well. The patisserie was much more disappointing, sadly. He'd been given the recipes in advance, so he knew which ingredients to take. And there were 3 recipes which we thought was a bit ambitious for the 2.5 hours. We thought, you know, this isn't Bake Off where you have the artificial time limit. But that, you know, you go with what you're told, and so everyone in the class took along the ingredients for all 3 desserts, for all 3 items, sorry. To then be told by the teacher, and I'm using quotes there because I don't think this guy is a teacher, oh no, you haven't got time, just choose a couple of them. And his method of instruction was, here's one I've made at home, so that's what it should look like, just get on with the recipe. So a little disappointed. He made a couple of things, he brought them home, he was pleased with what he'd made, but he didn't feel he'd learned anything new. The reason why I'm sceptical about the teacher, apparently they used to run this course, and then the person who used to take it retired or stopped doing it. So this guy was called in. He's not a lecturer at the college. He's someone who's taken their professional patisserie course, because they do a 39-week course for people who want to be pastry chefs. Yeah. So he knows his stuff, But there's a huge difference between knowing your subject and being able to convey that to others and teaching. It's a very separate skill set. So yes, himself was a tad disappointed, well, quite cross actually, because, and everyone in the course was feeling the same way, because they'd bought these ingredients, they'd carried them to the course, to find that not all were needed. So that felt a bit sort of wasteful and annoying. As it stands at the moment, he's away this week himself, so he would miss this week's course, which he understood when he signed up for it. That was known. He's unsure at the moment about whether he's going to go back, because if there's no instruction, he might as well watch YouTube videos for anything he's unsure of and just follow the recipes at home. It does feel at the moment like all he has is a very expensive recipe book, and it's not one he would necessarily have bought. So yes, a tad disappointed. He will make a decision on that before the next course that he's home for, the next lesson. He may well decide not to go and to try and, to give some feedback / complaint to the college, and possibly even try and get his fees back, because he really doesn't feel as if he's got what he went for. I mean, the guy didn't know how to use all of the equipment, because himself had done courses in that kitchen before. He knew how to use it better than the bloke running the course. He wasn't a happy bunny, and I don't blame him. So yes, that was that. Apart from that, the weather's changed, definitely chillier now, hence the cardi. This is the Ocean Shore by Drops, because people are always kind enough to ask. Very autumnal now, which, end of September you'd expect it to be. But very much sweater weather. And had a bit of FOMO at the weekend, because in the UK it was the Yarndale Yarn Festival. And I've not been to Yarndale, but it's one on my list that I would like to go. So at some point, I hope to go there. And I was glad that those who were there had a great time, but feeling jealous. You know how it is. It's that mixed thing. You think, well, I'm really happy for you, but I'd like to be sharing it with you. That kind of feeling. So yes, I've wittered on for over 7 minutes so far. So I shall stop wittering. And I will be back later in the week, even when I have something useful to say. Well, probably not useful, but something to say. Cheers. Hello, lovelies. Feeling very chilled, so I've just done an online meditation. Oh, I left something downstairs. I'll show you it next week. It's a bag that was very kindly made for me. Thank you, Raylene. I'll show you that next week. It's very exciting. It's got I feel very spoiled. So we've got to the end of another week. Ceremonies seem to have gone well. Weather's definitely changed, much chillier now. So I hope you're all okay. I hope wherever you are the weather is treating you kindly, whether you're going into autumn or going into spring. I hope you're doing okay. The weekend himself has the second part of his Italian cookery course on Saturday. So we'll have something delicious Saturday evening for supper, no doubt. Well, we'd better. And yes, onwards, more of the same. Next week, it looked as if it wasn't going to be a very busy week for work, but then phone calls have come in and that's all changed. So that now is looking different, and that's fine. That's the unpredictability is part of it. So that's all okay. But yes, survived another week. Yay! So I hope everyone's all right. Thank you for your comments. Thank you for your observations. Thank you for your thoughts. Lovely to hear from you. And please do take good care. Enjoy whatever you're doing. I hope you can do it safely. Hope you're able to feel comfortable in what you're doing with the restrictions around you. So take good care. Thank you very much. And I'll see you next week. Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.